Hi guys and welcome to the OP14 Zoro Sanji guide. We're gonna talk about what the deck actually does, first and second curve. Then I'm gonna show you some video against the meta, and then I'm gonna talk about what I think of the deck. So first we're gonna show you the deck list, similar to the Doflamingo guide. Don't think too much of the deck list, but I think this deck list at the moment is the best. And if you didn't check out my Doflamingo guide, you should if you want to play the deck or want to know how to beat the deck. But yeah, today we're going to concentrate on Zoro Sanji. So, the leaders say you may return one of your cost 2 or higher character to its owner hand, set up to one of your 7k power or less character as active. And yes, then we play the Supernova engine in OP13 in the European Championship. You can also check this video out. I made a video about it. I played the Fishman engine, but I don't really like it because you don't get so much advantage. You need to play a lot of bricks, and because Zoro isn't in the meta anymore, Arlong isn't really that strong anymore. And the Supernova engine is really strong because the Supernova just has so many amazing green cards. And it says a 2-cost searcher, which you can bounce with the leader ability to withstand one of the characters. And you have really good 2Ks like the Warnoa Zoro, and it's really good with Slash. So we play the Perona searcher because we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 23, 27 Slash characters. We play 4-time Kushiro because it's a 2K you can bounce. It's a blocker and it's protect your Slash characters, which is also a really good effect, especially against Imu. Sadly only on KO and not on removal itself, so against Ace it's really tough. We play a 1/2 Monkey D. Luffy 2K. The effect is whatever. And it's just a Supernova 2K and a 2-cost, which is really important, and Warhead, I guess. So when you don't have this or this, you can actually play out this to bounce. It's just for consistency. Then one of the best cards in the deck, 2-cost Kid Killer. On play, look at the top 5 cards and search the Supernova card or event. And yes, and when your opponent attacks, you can withstand one of your Dawn, which is really good for your events. And you can bounce it with the leader ability, which is really strong. And then we go to Dracule Mihawk, 3-cost. If you have 2 or less characters, you can play this out and play a 4-cost or lower slash character vested, which will be most of the time, or not most, yeah, all the time more or less, a Cavendish and Warner Zoro. So the Warner Zoro set, if your leader is Strawhead or Film, so Sanji of course Strawhead, you can set up 2 of your dons as active on play and end of your turn set this character as active. And 4-cost Cavendish, draw 2 and trash 1 when attacking. Of course only once per turn, otherwise the deck would be way too broken. And yes, then we have some new cards, the 4-cost Megalo from OP14, EB04, but OP14 here. You may West this character KO up to one of your opponent's Wested character with 8k base power. So this is really strong because you play this out, West, then bounce it again, you have the 2k leader, the 2k character again in your hand. You can play it also next turn. And you just removed an 8-cost Wested character for absolutely free. It's super powerful against any decks that play a lot of 8Ks like Red Black Sabo, like Red Green Luffy, like purple stuff that play Kata. Really amazing card. Then another new amazing card is the 4-cost Nami. It's a blocker, and on play with 2 of your opponent's character with a cost of 8 or less. Then set up to 5 of your turn cards as active at the end of your turn. This card is really powerful. Like for example, against Imu you can rest the blocker and most of the blockers anyways to just go for game. And the fact that it withstands some dons, you can you can simply play this out, play really safe, play more blocker, and you have your events in hand, and you just can't really die. It's really amazing, this card, to go for game, to play defensive, but it's also really good for board control. You play this out with two of your opponent's character, especially against Yellow Kid, to just pressure the board more. And you, of course, can bounce with the leader, so you, for example, against Imu on the 8 or 9 don turn, you rest their two blockers and then bounce it. So on the 10 don turn, they play their 10 cost, of course, and then they 5 elders. But you still have your Nami, so you can simply just rest them again and go for game. And of course, you can do a lot of things with this Nami. Really, really amazing card. Then we go to another 2K, one or so, one of the best 2Ks in the game, in my opinion. Opponent's turn, if this character would be rest by your opponent's character effect is important. You may rest one of your other characters instead. It's a blocker, it's a 2K, it's Supernova, it's Warhead, it's amazing. Then Basil Hawkins, and of the turns one of your Dawn card is active. Yeah, you never, never, never want to play this out. I think I played out once in over 100 games, and of course I didn't win. This is simply a 2K slash Supernova, which is also really good. Then one of my favorite cards, the 6-cost Monkey D. Luffy. It's a double attack with 7k. Again, you double attacks with 7. Leader ability, withstand, double again with 7. Really strong. And on play, if your leader is multicolored, set 4 of your dons as active, and then you can play anything with 5 costs or more. But I don't play 5 costs because of this. But you don't need 5 costs if you swing. And yes, this card is really, really amazing. You play this, you can play out this, then a 2 cost, and then even have 2 dons left for your leader. You can then attack like when you play out this 4 cost the turn before, attack, withstand, attack. You can do so much good stuff with it. You can play out this and this for 6 don, which is really amazing. And now we come to the OP events. So Deadman's Game, we all know this card, we all hate it or love it. Give your leader 3k and you may waste 3 of your dons. So for a don, actually to waste 2 of your opponent character or don, really, really strong. I think I don't need to explain why this is good. Then, I know you're strong, so I will go out from the start. You may waste 2 of your Dawn cards. Up to 2 of your opponent's West character with a cost of 7 or less will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. So this is really, really good because we have Deadman's Game and the new Nami. So you can play off the Nami with 2 characters, freeze them, and simply go for life. They can kill you because they only have with the freeze characters. And you actually have a blocker. So this card is really, really powerful in this deck. You can search it with Verona. It's a supernova card, so you can search it with Kid Killer. This card is really, really powerful with all the combination. You can even freeze your opponent's stuff with Nami and this. And then the next turn, play off the Megalo. It's synergized really well, this deck. And then one Gum Giant Pistol, give one of your Warhead type characters 6k until the end of the turn. Then that character does not become active during your next refresh phase. So this is just to go for game and to actually surprise your opponent, because sometimes they take and think, oh yeah, I can defend it, but then yeah, 13k into life, GG. Also a really interesting thing about this card, the sour withstand itself in the end phase, so the drawback doesn't even matter for the forecast sour. But most of the time you swing with Luffy when they have 2 life with Luffy 7. They take because they think, oh yeah, Of course, I can take a 8k hit, so I just take, and then you go 11 or yeah, whatever. You can also just 13 into lead, or sometimes Deadman's game or Nami before it, and then go all out when the opponent's leader is boosted. So really strong card in my opinion. I like it a lot. So yeah, let's go to the next phase, explaining the curve and some combos. For that, we're gonna go on Limitless to show you the curve. So first, I'm gonna show you the going first and going second curve is almost identical. So we're gonna go on 3. We're gonna want to play out this Mihawk, and then either play out the focus. Where is it? Here. We want to either play out the focus server or the focus Cavendish. More importantly, the Cavendish. But it's important to know your opponent will, if your opponent's a good, they will go 9k in your Cavendish. So I only would do this if you also have the server. If you have 2k, 2k in your hand, or 2k, 1k, 1k. Yes, you even would 2k, 1k, 1k to defend it because your opponent has an empty field. You have a 6k, you withstand your Cavendish. Don't attack with it again, and they need to go for life, so you get one draw from your turn, one draw from your Cavendish, one card extra because of you bounce a Mihawk, and then they go for life, and then you have 5 cards in hand again. So really, really strong card, and really strong combo for your redone turn. Another combo, of course, if you play Zoro, you know it, play the 3 cost, west, west, west ability, withstand 2, and then normally they play Kushiro or Kid Killer, and then you can search. Then on your 5 turn, you either want to play out simply a forecast or whatever, or to this Zoro and to Kid Killer, but most of the time, like let's just say they actually don't kill the Cavendish, you're on a 5 turn. Again, it's depends on the matchup. In some, if you have this hand, it's amazing because you can attach one to Mihawk. Where is it? Attach. Yeah. Attach. Go 5. Then go 6. Draw to discard 1. Then go leader. 6 again. Bounce the Mihawk. Withstand the Cavendish. Whoops, sorry. Withstand the Cavendish. Then you don't have enough. You only have one character. You play out the Mihawk. Then play out the Focus server. Withstand 2. Play out the Kid Killer. And search. And depending on your hand size, you can either attack again with Cavendish or simply don't attack it so they have to go for life. Depends on the match situation. But this is like on 5 dawn. Then on 7 dawn, you want to play out the 6 cost. So you get whoops, detach. So you get 4 dawn back, and then swing again with 6, and then with or not 6. It's depends on the measure, but you can also go with 7. Then you attach to leader. And now the cool thing is, swing with 6, bounce the Kid Killer, within the 7k, go in with 5 if you have the wombo combo. But if you don't, these are just in your hand or somewhere else. It's still really powerful, but for the sake of it, then go 7 again and play also 2 costs again. Yeah, and in the later turns, if you want to go more aggressive, you can, of course, 5 cost 6k bounces again. And yes, and then on 7 Dawn, if it's ever happened, on 9 Dawn, if they're even still alive, you can simply go 7, then attach 6, bounce, restand 6, draw 2, discard 1, play out, search again, attack. So this is more of the optimal curve. So let's go over the going second curve, which is more or less the same, but I just gonna to show you. We gonna so 1 second. And yeah, so going second curve, you actually want to go second in a lot of matchup. 2 curves to play the Kid Killer, Search. Then on 4, you simply attack with 5 and play out the Cavendish. Everything is a bit slower, but it's still fine. On 6, you play out the Luffy. You have 4 dons, and again, it's dependent on the hand. If you have more, you can play out more. Like, for example, here you could play out the Zoro, the 4 cost also. So you have 4. There's a 4 cost Zoro, you still have 2. And then go for the same combo with 7, 6 to leader, 6 wing, bounce to 2 cost, swing again with 7, and the next turn you can swing with 7, with 6, with 5, play out the searcher, then attack with the leader, bounce the searcher, withstand your double attacker, attack double, and play out the searcher again. And you would even have enough dons to, like, for example, freeze your opponent's board. So yeah, this is going first and going second curve and some combo. Another combo I want to show you, like I explained to you, are the Nami and Megalo combo, but I explained it already, but just for the sake of it, you can play if you have enough dons. You can imagine your opponent have like a vested 8 cost character, you play the Megalo, vested, kill something from your opponent, 7k, attach, west, bounce, and restand. And then you can even swing again. Or if you want to do something else, you can of course always like Nami, bounce, or even Nami just rested, like for 4. Then for 3, you freeze it. And then most of the time you always have like a 2 cost already. But even if you don't have, you can even go 7, then attach leader, and you can even bounce Tsunami if you want to, or you can play out another 2 cost and bounce it again. And again, restand your opponent free sport. You have 2 double attack and 2 life and 1 6k. So these are more or less the combos you can do with it. So now we're going over the matchup. One of the batch matchup. Whoops, sorry, already playing. Yeah, so one matchup which is really good in my opinion. Wait, Sorry. So I hope this is better now. It's Boa Hancock. I recorded a bit too late, but I hope you can still see what you can do. So we are on our fourth on turn. We took the first hit, and and we play off the Cavendish. She play out the blocker. So we take again. I think. Yeah, we take. And now we can do the combo. Why do I take and why am I not afraid of pulling? Because if you pulling don't have much advantage anyway, I then have 5 cards in hand. Wouldn't matter that much, honestly. Of course now it would hurt a bit, but yeah, we have another 4-cost character in play. And the Koshiro. Here you could have, of course, only play a 2-cost bounce and attack again, but I don't actually want to attack here because I want to actually starve them. Or what start you need, of course, to attack with the cabinets to get the advantage, but you don't need to attack a lot of times against Boa, especially not into life. Well, of course, with the cabinets, you more or less have to attack. Now we can cycle the hand. We already have like 4 2Ks, 3 1Ks, some blockers, a freeze event, Kid Killer Search. Get only a 1K, but it's fine. You can even search Kid Killer with Kid Killer, which is really funny. Then go 7 into life. They only have 4 cards in hand, so they need to block. And now I think I think here I'm gonna play out what? Or do I go for game? I don't know. I don't even remember what is done here. But yeah, but I think I try to poke and then go with 7. Or you can also, of course, Nami here, then go for the Goa Sisters, but then the problem is putting could really hurt you. And I want to pressure the life a bit if he takes. Yes, he takes, sadly, destroy the Luffy. A really good trigger from his part. But we still have stuff we can do. We go 5 in to pressure the life a bit. And yeah, of course, they trigger. But if they don't have pulling, we can easily counter everything. Now the problem here is if they have pulling, we are fucked. But sometimes it's like that. We even have a blocker, so we are not even that fucked. So yeah, Kid Killer. I play other lists. I test a lot of things, so ignore like for some of the focus over here. I tested out, but it's not so good. In the theory, it's good. It's a Dawn X1. You can west a 6-cost on attack, and then you can resend and west 2 6-cost, and then freeze them or kill them with Megalo. But in practice, to simply swing with big bodies, it's better. Like here, you try to go for game, but I have 2K, 2K, another 2K, and I even had a blocker. I don't know what this is. Go for life. It's really weird, so I don't even need to block this. I can simply defend it. And now, because we are 0 life, we actually can go for board. And we know they don't have pudding here, because otherwise they would have used it. So we can even go more for board. I always go for board, but we can also try to go for life, because we can like freeze everything. I think here it's good to use leader. And I think I'm thinking about to bounce the Kid Killer and resend the Cavendish, and then to see what I get with the Kid Killer, and then go from there. Because if I get the 6 for Zoo, for example, I can go more of the board and then go for life later. But for some reason, I go for alive. Like for example, this recording is really old, so I don't even know why I do this. Sometimes I also make beat plays. Today I would play also differently, but I think it worked out fine. Like they only have 3 hand cards left, and like I'm thinking, but we play also Catilla again. Oh, what do we do here? Do we play also Tsunami? Tsunami would be really good here too. Yes, so we can actually waste these two. Sadly, I misplayed a bit. I could have let open 3 and actually freeze the Kuma and the 5 cost, which would be really powerful. But here we want to simply get away with the Dogger sister because that is really. And like we saw here, the Nami, we have 2 events in hand. We ended on, we use all our downs, but we can reach them up to 5 and we can use all the events in our hand to our advantage. So if so they can again not go for game because we have 2 blocker. We could counter out 16k. The only thing they could have is both of the car would be pulling and perfume. So 6 cost, but yeah, whatever. We can easily counter this out. I'm thinking here if I want to use Deadman's game or not. It's not that important in my opinion. I think you should hold the Deadman's game in case they play sorry, a blogger trigger. English is not my first language, as you probably can listen. So yeah, 8k swing a bit. How to defend it? Sadly, we have to use a Deadman's game here. I fought them, but yeah, 9k. Again, I don't understand why on Cavendish, but it's game from here anyway. They have 1 card in hand left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swings. It's guarantee win, even if they have blocker or anything. 7 again, they need to take. Yeah, go sister, whatever. Draw your cards. 7 again. And we could even go even more. Like we saw here, 6. Bounce, we stand 7, and could go 11. Yeah, Boa is one of your Boa is one of your best matchup by far. A matchup which is really bad is Dracule Mihawk because they can get their 1k push. And I can't really lie, the matchup is horrible. I still have like 40% win rate, but it's more because a lot of the players are not good with it. So yeah, quick pause. I needed to check something. But yeah, Mihawk really powerful against it. Not only because you're 6k, but the problem which has Zoro Sanji if your opponent's leader is at 8k, which it's sound it sounds like a nothing problem, but OP Luffy, even OP Luffy is a really good matchup, but OP Luffy, Watcher, Ace, Mihawk can all go on 8k. So you need to swing early and you need to swing low because the downside of Mihawk is that they play a lot of events to counter and play a lot of non-counter. So you want to bait also events with low hits rather than big hits. And if you hit big, always look over 3 or 4k depending on what you think they have or don't have. And the other cards that can be really good against you are Perona, because they can freeze the Cavendish. The Lord Beppo is good because they freeze the Luffy. But the good thing, this deck is really aggressive and Mihawk has some problem with it. As we can see here in the replay, we restand, we get another attack in. We have like one case, we have even a 2k, we can get another 2k. Sadly, this Luffy isn't slash, but yeah, it is what it is. But we we are lucky here they don't have the mirror, but we here have the high ground in my opinion, even if they have 3 characters. We only need to see the freeze event. They can't really go for the board if they try. They need to throw away the blocker, which would be really play in our cards. Yeah, in this deck list I play the 6 cost law and why not 2 5 cost, but in my opinion the 6 cost law isn't really good in this deck because the 6 cost law is simply more aggressive. And if you play out a 6 cost with double attack and a 4 cost, and it's better and more consistent to play more 5 cost and the 6 cost law because the 4 cost character are better to ram with Mihawk or simply undergo second curl than to have a lot of 5 cost character because it would be a bit too slow for this deck to start your game with the 5 cost character and then bounce your low cost with lore and then don't really have attack again in the turn. And the 6 cost Luffy is simply better in my humble opinion. But yeah, of course, a lot of people would prefer the law. I prefer the Luffy. It is what it is. And the law here even come handy because of course you can also use 4 cost characters. We west 2 with the Nami with then the Cavendish. And here I am thinking if I should attack again because they could go for the Cavendish, but we have so much advantage. They can't really go for the Cavendish without giving up the blocker. But the problem for them is the blocker don't really do much. So because we have Tsunami, but if they attack with the blocker, they don't have defense at all because I don't even need to west 4 of my dons to west them, and I could simply go for game. So it's a really bad situation for them. Probably I misplay here a bit because I shouldn't attack with the Cavendish. I could simply withstand the Cavendish, the Zoro, but then again they simply would west it with the 7 cost mirror. But in theory, you could withstand the Cavendish and then they had to go for life. But it's really likely that they have either the 7 cost, uh, the 7 cost Shanks, or the 9 cost Mihawk. So it's fine. And here again, we play out Tsunami, swing low. We have 6, can go 6, 7, 7, 7. You can go like 6, 6, 7, 7, or yeah, or 7, 6, 6, 7, which is also really good. Or 7, 6, 7, or simply 8. It's we don't lose here again because we even get to reason our done. We have 2 attackers, so and even with the Perona and leader, and we have Tsunami again. So of course they have the Lord Beppo, which is the most powerful card in this situation, but they only have 5 cards left in hand. And we can simply go 11 into lead. Can we defend this? We need to catch this. Nah, we don't really want to defend this. The West is sour here. Then go for it. Yeah, whatever. And now play out the Nami. So here's I think of either Deadman's game or Nami, but Nami is better because you have a blocker and the chance that they kill you from here isn't really that high. You can even play out the law and play even more defensive. But I think here you just need to swing big. Just need to play out the Nami, don't bounce it because you have the Deadman's game anyways. And go like 11 for life. They can counter it out, but then, yeah, it's not clear that they can clear. Oh yeah, I even play more defensive here. Because we can go like, we can go 8 and we send Tsunami to have another blocker, but I don't know what I'm thinking here. I thought the game was already over, but no, I play the Sideways, of course, is a better option here. But yeah, here, swing with 9 into 8 with Cincinnati. So they need a law and Beppo and two other stuff to actually win this. Of course, here they can. We have even the trigger. Yeah, I test also the 5 cost 4, but I don't like it. You can, if you play the 5 cost 4, of course, you play more of a build that's based on the 6 cost law, but this build is different. So again, it's a low Beppo. And again, they have the two blockers out. They even go for the law. But it doesn't matter. Because we simply Deadman's game it. And 11 into 8. And because they already had so many event discarded, they don't have enough. So as you see, really dodgy, but Mio isn't a great matchup. What is a really, really great matchup? Of course, it's Imu. The reason why this deck was good in OP13. And going second, it's almost free against Imu because they can't really deal with the pressure. But going first, it's also pretty favored for you, I would say. Here the problem is, of course, I want to play also Mia with the Cavendish, but I don't have a lot of a counter. So here the Emo would, it would really be good for the Emo if you would simply, here I don't know what Emo is, go for life, and then go, not go for life, go for the Cavendish with 9, and hope to kill it, because otherwise you can't really defend it. Here he tried to search, but this is a big misplay, Of course, if I would have two 2Ks, he would immediately be lost, but he would be lost anyways if I can counter it. So in my opinion, almost. I know it's not look like it, but yeah, because here we can go like I show you 5, can no, go 5 with the Mihawk. I attack first with the Cavendish because I want to see whether it will and go from there. And it really doesn't matter that much if you go 6, 5, 6 or 5, 6, 6. Yeah, we can like swing 3 times with 6. I forgot one. And now we can swing again with 6. And now we can play out even another Cavendish. And now we have the counter to counter it out. So the problem here is that Mars can destroy one of the Cavendish, but we still have one Cavendish left. So they either play out the Mars or the Rush character, which are both pretty good here. They decide to play out the Rush character, which is a bit worse than the Mars in my opinion, because the blocker is more powerful. But if we would play out the Mars, we would have a really nice Nami turn. I think in here, and I let it die because we have already another Cavendish. We want to hold our counter for the future swings. No, I mean, look at the Evo, they're already at 1 life and they're on their 6th on turn. And yeah, 7, 2k, downswing with 7 against the deck. This deck plays a lot of 2ks and can rotate a lot of time. So 6k swing are not really 2k swings you can counter off with 2k are not good against Zoro and Sanji. So that's what the sentence I try to find. And here again, we can attack with the Mihawk. We can attack with the leader. We could even go Deadman Scale, but Deadman Scale would be kinda dead here. And look what we find, a Kushiro, which is really powerful because now, in my opinion, the best play would be a swing with 5 Mihawks, swing with 6 leader, reason the Cavendish, play out the Kushiro, and simply give it to your opponent. They can't kill your Cavendish, they need to go for life. Yes. And I think I do this, right? Yes. So they need to block this or counter this out. And here he needs to block, but I think he don't block because he's afraid of the 8k swing. I don't know why I attack again. This was a big misplay. I think I can counter it out. Maybe I kite it, but the downswing here again, this was really greedy. It not matter that much because we have this 6 cost Luffy. We can swing 7k. We can use Tsunami. But yeah. Oh yeah, he not at 10. So but even if it would be at 10 it would be gay. So it's only at 8, I forgot. Yeah, so of course just forget it. We have more than enough time. Even if he gets another blocker out, a lot of events, it doesn't matter at all. We can even set up with another 6 cost, yes. So they can't kill us next turn anyways. Because of Nami, we have 2 blockers, and now we rest even one of them. And go 7. The event. Then we can bounce the crucible and play it out again. And have 2 blockers. We have enough, more than enough cards in hand. I even bounce the Nami, which is a misplay in my opinion. Bounce the crucible and we stand there. Because then you have 2 blockers. And we have the Deadman's game, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. Here also an important thing against Imu you need to know is the fact that if you can swing 9 and they have 2 cards in hand, of course they can counter out with event and 1 or 2k, but then they don't have the 10 cost and they need to top deck the 10 cost. So yeah, they can count the chance that they can counter it out is there, but then they don't have the 10 cost for the next turn, and then Imu can't do much, as we know. So last game against Yellow Luffy, I think I didn't play out the matchup good because I learned, of course, even more. It's like a few days. I can show you more gameplay of Zoro Sanji OP14 if you want to, but I just want to showcase what this they can do. Yellow Luffy is a really good matchup for you because you don't need to look at pulling. You play out the Cavendish, your Kid Killer. You don't want to attack at first, so they don't trigger anything. You want to take here because that way you don't get punished by Nico Robin. Of course, I'm a bad player, and he played out a really weird card, which I never saw in Yellow Luffy, which is really good against my deck. Uh, this makes so my Cavendish can attack, but we have. Yeah, what can we even do here? We can play out two two more blockers, I guess. Yeah. Even if you think, oh yeah, they have the unblockable event, but a lot of times you have more than 15 to counter, and most of the time they don't have two unblockable events. Or they think they have game, swing with 14, you counter out. They don't have the blocker, they don't have anything to protect themselves. So that's why you should take early. Especially here, this was a even more huge misplay. Yeah. So I didn't play this really great, but Yellow Luffy is such a good matchup that it didn't really matter here. And honestly, I think it's important to show you even not so great gameplay so we can discuss why certain plays are not that good, even if they don't get punished, like here, for example. So now we swing 6. Discards the Megalo because everything else is better. We can play also Bibi here to go 2. We could even play out the Law to bounce one of our Kushiro and play out the Megalo and then bounce the Megalo again with the leader. And this is the play we do. Oh no, we play out the Bibi because we can clean this character anyways with 2-7, with 6-7, whatever. So this leader you say a lot of the time 6-7, but yeah, I don't care. I don't care about such things. And yeah, if we protect us, we simply swing even more. The misplay on his side because I'm not interested into going into live actually. So now he only has 2 cards left in his hand. And okay, you save it, but you have 2 cards left in your hand. And even if he attacks with the Kuma, we can even clear out the Kuma because we don't care about the life size of our opponent because they have 2 cards in hand. We can double attack, recent double attack, and so on. We have a lot of cards in our hand. We have a blocker. Here, of course, we always have to look forward for the bunny. So if we have 1 life, it simply means we have 0 life. So here it's good to counter a bit. But I take because I have the blocker. And here comes the pit. But here's the thing. He has 1 card left in the sand because he way too overprotect his stuff. And we have the low blocker even to counter more. Okay, we know 1-2k probably in the sand. So with swing with 6, you can't defend it at all, no matter what. I don't know why I discarded 2k here. I would discard the BBB because we have too much hand size anyway. Then I think we swing with 7 into the Kuma. Yes, because yes, they get alive, but look at the board. They don't have anything. We can counter out like 2 15k swings at this point. And now we can even search for more 2ks. Yay, another 2k. And because it wasn't good enough, we play out this. And I don't know what we play out. I think Kid Killer is here even the best option, even if it looks stupid, but yeah, maybe I go for the Zoro because, but the Zoro would also be a decent target because they can't attack the Zoro, but yeah, we go for the Kid Killer. I test this weakest Luffy because it's supernova, but the funny thing about this Luffy is it gives your green character plus 1k, where you think like, yeah, really good, but the problem is then your 6 cost is at 8k, which is not so optimal. And to protect your character, you need to rest your character, which is also not optimal. The pro Nico Robin I will test. I don't think it's good in the deck because you could also play Tashigi, which is also a 2k, which is a viable pick for the deck, but yeah. But I will test it out here. You go for the event, but yeah, we can simply counter it out. I'm thinking here if I want to use the killer, if it's enough without it, so we can use Deadman's game defensively. If they trigger a character, we can rest the characters and go from there. So we need to calculate a bit, but 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 16, and then we have the Vivi. We are then against it. 5 cards in hand, I think. Or I play it safe. Oh no. I'm thinking this was another misplay on my part. Sorry that I said I played so bad. But yeah, we are at 5 cards again. So next time we can play also Vivi to get at 7 again. And bounce it, and attack with Cavendish, and so on. So yeah. He down attack with the kid, but we have 2 blockers anyway, so whatever. So here I'm thinking with which character I should attack first. But of course we first war. Then use it. Luffy, double attack, which of course connects. Of course, the Luffy has a trigger, but it's yellow, of course they have trigger. They have like 100 lives. That's nothing you can blame anything on. So yeah, they trigger the blocker, but we swing, we discard a 1k, and we have so much counter. Look at the amount of counter we have. You can even go like Nami here, just deal with the blocker. We can bounce stuff, we can try to attack with the law, or try simply go for life anyways, because it doesn't matter. Another thing you can do is swing, bounce Vivi, we stand the Luffy, then Nami the 2 blockers, and go with 7 into 3 cards in hand if they take. I think this is even what's going to happen here. So if they take, they underestimate the Nami, and so they take E8. So now we play out the Nami. Come on, you can do it. Ah, no. I, yeah, he triggers a 5 cost Nami, so which is actually good for us because now we know they only have 2 cards left. Now we can swing. And then we can go 7/7. The thing is, if they have the reset event, they can't. Here's the thing. Why do I swing with 7/7? We have 1 blocker, and if they have the reset event, they can't defend themselves. So that is the important thing. I also against this deck, but I don't think we need to see again. I win, but I don't think this deck is relevant for the meta. So yeah, wait a second. Yeah, I'm gonna show you something else. Don't actually look on the percentage. Yeah, only 50% because, like I told you, I test out a lot of cards in my decks, and sometimes the ideas are really bad. So I lost a lot of time. So then the ideas got better, and I win and lost. Yeah, but it's just to showcase you the matchup a bit. Yeah, Boa, it's in my opinion, is 3 the 7 losses what as the beginning if when I didn't use the matchup in and out. I think the last 10 I lost one, and that was a crazy game where I super hardcore. She triggered like go sister, Whaley, and I didn't have a Virgo, and so on. It was what the Virgo. I didn't have protection for my stuff, so I play a lot of Dofi, so forget about that. But Dofi Boa is similar because Dofi also has a good matchup against it. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, Boa is a really good matchup in my opinion. You want to go second. You want to starve them a bit till you have your board set up. Of course, if you have the Cavendish, you want to attack with the Cavendish to get your advantage. But at best is to swing with the Cavendish in the low stuff, on board stuff. Yeah, Mihawk. On low level, it's more even. On higher level, if the Mihawk actually have their fundamentals down on how to counter, it's really, really tough. Yellow Luffy, it's more. It's favored, I think, for Zoro Sanji. Like, similar to the Boa, I lost a lot of the first times where I didn't have the matchup down. You want to take a lot of your life against Yellow Luffy. You need to look out for the Robin, so you even take your third life pretty early, so they can Robin you on 6 or 7. And even if you have 0, you have your blocker, you have 110 cards because of the Cavendish. You want to recycle a lot of your kit and killers to have even more 2Ks and events in your hand. And you want to bring them in a situation where they have like one character and the leader, the character you can block, and the leader you can counter out if they have the event. But if they don't use the event, you can simply use a blocker. Because you play so many, you want to have like 2 blockers on board and then slowly but surely go for the life and guarantee uh, to if they trigger characters, you can then nami the characters, go for board again. So really try to go. Yeah, it's 10% win rate against Ace. Yeah, how to explain this matter? It's simply losing. To put it simply, it's not really a matter of first or second. You can win if they have nothing, but honestly, I think that was 10% is a bit low because I quit a lot of times when I see some ace because it's that bad. I think I have 15-20% win rate. They need to bid really, really hard. What you try to do is bait out your 3 cost events. So they think they have game, but so they think they can defend, but they actually can't. You don't want to attack too much of their second life because you want to double attack it. So they only get advantage of 1. You want to have your megalows for the users and 6 cost. You need to pray that they don't have the users and the 4 costed bounce, because this is actually what kills the matchup, because they bounce your Cavendish twice and you can't attack with it once, and it's so bad. They can even bounce your 6 cost Luffy with the user. Then they have like 2 10 cost blockers and you can't build up your board at all. It's really horrible. But to look on the bright sides, 86% win rate against Luffy. This matchup is so free. You go first, you go second, you simply win, you swing into leader. The thing about Luffy, yes, it's a defensive deck, but a problem that Luffy have is multiple swings. And guess what? This leader we stand. and this they can't deal with so many that you 3 times you swing 3 times in one turn. It's a slower deck, so the only thing that really annoys you is the 10 cost. But if they play the 10 cost, they can't pressure your board or your life at all. So yeah, you all need to look out for Rego and 10 cost. But it's really free. You have so much card advantage. You draw so much, you go for life. They need to counter heavily. It's free. It's so free. Emu similar. You saw it. Going second is almost free. Going first is going second is free. Going first is almost free. You can lose if you don't have the curve, and the Emu have all the events. The matchup got harder because I cut also Tashigi, which was important for the matchup, and they have the new one cost event. They can nullify your uh, Kushiro and then simply destroy your Cavendish or do other stuff, but then they go so much minus. Kushiro stands anyway, so they lose like all the dons and 2 cards to destroy one card of yours, so it's not that worth it for them. Especially because they need the event for the swings. It's a really good matchup. Moria is 50-50. You need to know it. It's a really, really weird matchup. It's go forever. I don't like Moria, not because it's a good or bad deck or trigger or whatever, because Moria games go for so long because of Perona. They freeze your 6 cost. It's so annoying. So annoying. But it's actually winning because you get to 0 life, you have your blockers, they don't have enough blockable events. You block out, you counter out, you destroy the board, you slowly but surely go for the life, and it's the end, you can win. It's a 50-50 matchup because sometimes the Perona are too much and you also don't have affinity blocker, but Nami is key, 6 cost, Cavendish is key. So yeah. Luffy, the 3 losses, yeah, whatever. Also, yeah, I took 2 losses are more or less disconnected, and 2 losses on the board also misclicked, and one was a bug, which was really annoying. I don't know how that one happened. I attacked with the 6 cost Luffy, but for some reason I attacked when she triggered, and then the attack didn't register, and the attack was really important because she was at 2 lives and had like 3 hand cards. So yeah, whatever. I would have won it otherwise, but because of a bug I lost. But that's one of the only ways to lose. With UP, it's really really good. Yeah, you simply go for life. Aggro deck. They need to ramp a lot, and see all the combo pieces to actually deal with your pressure. So Luffy, really good matchup for you. Gold Roger, pretty bad. Like again, 7K leader, it's fine. 9K leader is horrible. Jinbei, it's a 50-50 in my opinion. I need to look more into the matchup. I misplayed a lot. You need to be careful of the 8 cost, but you have also a lot of tools, like for example, the Nami can always like rest the 1 cost if they play it out early. But another problem is the 4 cost law and the user, which you can bounce your Cavendish and stuff, so that is really tough. But you have also some stuff on them. So I think it's 50-50. Again, who goes second has a huge advantage. Another 50-50 matchup is this one. The 5 cost is really powerful, but sometimes they can't really uh, deal with your pressure, so it's fine. Foxy, it's unfavored because they can freeze your stuff, but it's not that much. It's like 45-55. Yeah, so it's actually a bad matchup now because you don't play the Arlor, but you don't see a lot of Zoros. Yeah, Smoker is free because you can't deal with the pressure. If they have kit, you can simply mega low it, and even if they don't, you can swing 10 and so on. Yeah, talking about Megalo, Red Green, Luffy, pretty free. You Megalo everything from them and control the board pretty free, and then simply but surely go for life. Lim is 50-50, whoever goes first win, which is Lim in a nutshell. Yeah, Bonnie is bad, of course, for obvious reasons. They always waste your leader, and you simply play without your leader. Green Purple is free because, hey, guess what? 5 cost Sanji pulling only has 7k, and guess what? Megalo can destroy a 7k, and even if they have their protection, you can rest them with Nami and then attack it and then go for Megalo the next turn or even the same turn. So, yeah, good. GP is pretty free. And now we go to the obscure matchups. Like, whatever. Yeah. Sabo is pretty free against because of Megalo, because it's simply Megalo. They 6 cost blocker, bounce it. They play also 6 cost blocker. You attack with 7, and if they block, they Sabo gets destroyed. If they don't block, they need to counter it out, and yeah. It's horrible for the Sabo player, but really good for the Sanji and not Sanji, and for Sanji and Zoro, I wanted to say. So yeah. So I go again. I show you the deck list. What do I think about this deck? It's a fun deck. The problem is just the problem is it has two bad matchups at all. It's Ace and Mihawk. The problem is Mihawk and Ace are the most powerful deck of the format. So yeah, Doofy is free, uh, Boa is free, and Yellow Luffy is really good for you if you know the matchups. But Ace is so devastating. No matter what, you really can't win. It's so frustrating. If Ace wouldn't exist, this would be tier 1 in my opinion. But sadly, Ace exists. So this deck is more like tier 2. It's a pretty fun deck if your locals don't have a lot of aces. Push this out, have some fun, stall out the board and Moria, know the matchup and win it. And the Dolphins just won over it. It's a lot of. It's more of a fun leader than a good leader, but it's not bad in any means. Like it can, it you can top with it. I'm pretty sure you can top with it, and you can even go far with it with the good tournament bracket, of course. With a good tournament bracket, I mean, if the meta goes to no Ace and Mihawks, and it's amazing, but sadly the meta is a lot of Mihawk and Ace. EBO3, this deck gets support. I don't know when we get it, but there is a promo server which is really good. Whoops, where is it? Is this one? Really good for this deck. If you have one or more active Dawn cards, set this character as active, so it's basically like a 4 cost. With the difference, it's also a blocker. And this is also Supernova. Sadly, I don't know when we're gonna get this promo. And another great card is Tashiri, not the 3 cost, not the 5 cost, not the other 5 cost, but the 4 cost. I don't know why they only print amazing green Tashiris, but yeah. This character cannot be killed by your opponent's effect, which is good. And it's a blocker. And end of your turn, you rest a Dawn card and trash a card from your hand and set this character as active. So you swing 6/6/6 and even have a blocker the next turn. But yeah, for EBO3, when the meta change, I'm gonna update the stack list for you. Like again, you can put this out, have some fun. For a tournament, if you try hard really hard, I wouldn't play it if you think just, yeah, if I top, it's cool, and if I go far, if I want to like top 124, it's you definitely can. It's the problem for big tournaments is simply if you run into an ace, you lost. If you run into a Mihawk, you have to pray. Anything else is fine, but that's the big problem of this deck. But it's really, really cool. It has a lot of combos. And yeah, I hope you like this video. It's way too long, but whatever. So yeah, another 1 hour and 10 minutes video, similar to the Dofi guide. I hope the time is good enough. Have an amazing day. I'm gonna buy a new mic and the quality will become better. I have a lot of new stuff that will come out. Purple Ene, I'm gonna show you some combo even without support. This deck is amazing. I think I'm going to even go into more details on some Doflamingo matchups, like for example yellow Luffy, how or Boa, how to win almost every time with it, and more to come, tier lists, whatever. If you want to see something, please let me know.